Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Southern California. And today is Monday, June the 2nd, which is really hard to believe, isn't it? This is already the month of June. Amazing. Big week, my grandkids got out of school, and I'm enjoying my big green tree again. You know, about 3 weeks ago, there wasn't one stitch of green on it. It was just a bare old tree. And it seemed like overnight, all of a sudden it just blossomed with all this greenery. It's so beautiful. And the breeze is blowing, but I don't have any birds yet. So anyway, that's what I'm getting to enjoy. I open my window and it's just a gorgeous day. So today we're gonna make this double fun fold card. Let me show you how it works. I'm using, obviously, Thankful Garden. So you open it up thinking that's gonna be it, but aha, it is not. We're gonna open it a second time. You make a difference. The leaves here are also from Thankful Garden. And the Scent with Love is from another set that I love. It's called Fancy Borders. So there are a number of greetings that you could put in there, but I like that. And we're gonna make the primrose, but today I'm gonna use one of the new in colors called Strawberry Slush. Okay, so here we go. I guess I'm calling it a primrose because I don't exactly know what it is, but I think we are ready to go. And if you would like, you can take a picture. There's really not a lot to take a picture of this time. Oh, I also wanted to say I have 3 more of those cards to show you that open in that way. And then I have 2 more cards that partially, they have a window, but they don't have the second piece that opens up. And I want to show you those two cards also. Okay, so here you go. We're going to use 1 entire piece of white cardstock, not the heavy or the thick, because there's just too much of it to use the thick. So we're going to use regular cardstock. I'm using black. It's 5.5 by 4. The DSP is from Lovely Garden, so that's just 1/4 inch less. So if you want to take a picture. And then I'm using stylish shapes to cut the window out. And then I have different shapes. On one of the cards I've used the essentials, nested essentials. On another one I've used the rectangles, and I'll think of their name in a minute when I get there. Okay, so first thing I need to do is work with the white cardstock. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way for the moment. And, okay, let's get my cutter. Okay, now I'm gonna say this, oops, come on, don't fall over. I'm gonna say this several times. Okay, wherever we cut, we're not going to score. Wherever you cut, you're not going to score. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, because what I'm doing is I'm actually going half and half. So if, you know, this card is just missing just this one, what do you call that? Anyway, one piece of it, 1/4 of the cardstock. And so where I cut, I don't score, because when you score, it kind of makes a wrinkle. And then when you cut over it, you have cardstock that's not even and clean on the edge, and I don't really like that. Okay, so I'm going to do, it's important to do it in this order. So do it side to side first. We're gonna go 5.5. Okay, now, fortunately, we have numbers here, so we can see when we're getting to half the page, which is gonna be 4.25, right? Okay, so remember, when you're cutting, don't score first. So I'm just gonna pull my blade and I'm gonna be watching for 4.25. So here we go, and I can tell right when I get to 4.25. Okay, there we go. All right, then I'm gonna bring my scoring blade in, and I'm gonna score the other half because it does need to fold. All right, now we're gonna turn it the other direction and we're gonna do the same thing. This time, since it's 8.5, we're gonna go to 4.25, and I'm gonna cut this panel out, and now I can see exactly where to come to. Okay, right there. This should just lift out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and score the bottom. Okay, there we go. Now, let's move this out of the way and we'll get out our bone folder. And I'm going to fold this, and see, even with the cutter, oh yeah, I keep saying that, I need a new blade. And you know, I even have a new blade. I just can't remember to put it in because I want that smooth. Okay, so let me turn this around, make sure it's nice and even, which it is. Okay, All right, then I'm gonna open it back up and I'm gonna bring this down. Ooh, it's not quite even at the bottom. You know what that means. I'll just get up and trim it. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Okay, so if this happens, it's very fixable, right? I'm just gonna get up and trim it with my trimmer, which is faster than pulling out my cutting blade again. So let me just trim that down. Okay, done. This one's a little off, a tiny bit off too, but I don't think that's enough to worry about. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the DSP onto the black cardstock, and I'm going to cut out the circle because remember it's got a circle cut out of the front. I tried, you can't cut through the DSP, the black, and the white at the same time. It just is too thick, at least for, it doesn't go through easily. So let's just put some adhesive on the back of this. And then I'm also going to put some extra adhesive because remember there's going to be a hole right here. And so I want extra adhesive so that when it's cut, it doesn't come up and apart. Okay, so I'm going to have to make 2 cuts. First, I'm going to, these are the 2 that I'm using from Stylish Shapes, and I'm going to put both of them down even though I'm only going to cut with the small one. It's just, if you just put the small one on there, you may get it too close to the edge because you don't know, because I think it looks nice with a border like that. So I'm just gonna see exactly where that one goes. Then I'm gonna lift up my big one. Okay, so now I'm gonna go cut this out. It'll just take a second. Then I'll be back to cut out my second one. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Okay, hopefully this is just gonna pop right out. Push it down. There you go. Okay. Perfect. And I actually don't need that. So now I'm just going to very carefully lift this off and this off. Okay, so nice. Now what we want to do is we want to put this onto the front with adhesive. And we're going to then, and see again, I'm going to add extra adhesive right here around the circle because I don't want it puckering up after I've cut. So now I'm going to put this right on the front. If you do it this way, it does take 1 extra cut, but you know for sure. Well, you know what? I think I've got that over just a tiny bit too big. I mean, a tiny bit too far to the right. So let's move it over just a tiny bit. Okay, that looks better. Okay. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this circle back in here. Okay, it just fits right in there. And then I'm gonna press that down. Now I'm just gonna go run this through the machine and we will have our card ready to go. Should be just a really nice cut. We'll poke through the white. There you go. All right. And then we will gently pull this off. Let's see if there's a gentle way to do this. There we go. And here we go. You know what? Today was also the first day I had to pull my tower fan out. Whew, took a shower this morning and oh my word, I was roasting. So I went and I thought, okay, now it's really summertime. It's 88 degrees and I have to pull my tower fan out. So I've got it on here in my room too, because I really don't need to turn the air on, thank heavens. Okay, now, while I have these two with me, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the piece that's gonna go right here. So let me show you how I'm gonna do that. So I take the circle that I just cut out, and then I'm gonna take one circle larger, and then I'm going to very carefully hold this down, and this is going to create the frame that's going to go around right here. So let's cut this out, and then I think we're done cutting. This is such a great time of year for me for utilities. My gas bill last month was $3 and something. I go, hey, I can deal with that. All right, so now we'll just poke out this, and when we poke like this, there we go. There's our perfect little circle. And I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of these. I think I've used them. Well, this one I think maybe I could use again. Okay, there we go. All right, then let's just put these away. Such a good habit, right? Put your dies away when you finish using them. All right, then let's go ahead and put this on. When you add a border like this, it's so easy to do, and it adds so much to the card. So just gonna add it right there. And then we're also, I cut out another one that we could put on the inside. It isn't like you have to, but it's so pretty when you do. Okay. It's just a little extra surprise when you open the card. Okay, there we go. Now, isn't that pretty? Woohoo! All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and add our Scent with Love. And like I said, today I'm using Strawberry Slush. So we're gonna get this card all ready, and then we're gonna work with the Primrose. So Scent with Love, and I'm gonna try to pull it up a little higher than I did the last time, because I wanna position the flower just a little bit differently. So I'm gonna give it a good huff. Pull this up. Okay, well, that could have been darker, but it's gonna have to do. All right, and then we could go ahead, oh well, I'll add that later. Okay, so let's work on our flower. Okay, so now this quarter that we cut out from the upper left, this can become the piece that we can use to stamp our flower on. And again, I am using the Stamparatus, which I wish I had used it there. It actually needed it. Okay, black pad. And again, you know, I think I just, even though I re-inked my pad, I still feel better if I do it 2 or 3 times. Make sure it's nice and dark. And like I always say, there are other apparatuses out there that you can use if you don't happen to have a Stamparatus. All right, that looks really good. Okay, so now we'll just get out a piece of paper that we can work on. I'm going to put a tiny bit of adhesive on here so that it will stay put. And then we'll start with our masks. So my number 1 mask, I think this is number 1. Nope, this is number 2. Okay, number 1. Okay, so once we get it put in place, what we're gonna do is mark the notch. There's only one of these masks that really where the notch comes in handy, but we'll mark it anyway. Okay, all right, then I'm gonna get out my Strawberry Slush, and I'm gonna do this first one very, very lightly. Again, these are so easy to do. If you think your pad is pretty well inked, then you need to kind of stamp off a little bit before you get to this flower. And I did this one time already in Strawberry Slush. It's so beautiful. And I ended up going back and using this number 1 again because I wanted it to be a little bit darker. But for right now, I'm gonna leave this light, and I can always go back and add more if I want more. Okay, so here's number 2. And this one actually is quite simple to line up too. See, it lines up with the V pretty well, not perfectly. Okay, now we're gonna go a little bit darker on this one. This is the first time I've actually done just one color. I've usually used 2 different colors. Let's check on this and see. Okay, I think that might be okay. We'll see. I can always go back over these. That's the nice thing. Okay, now here comes number 3. This is the one where you really do kind of need the notches. Wait, number 3, okay. It's a little bit hard to tell. And even the notch, you know what? It isn't perfect because I don't want this hole outside the flower, so I'm not sure it's really helping that much. Yeah, I'm not sure it really helped that much. Okay. Now this one I'm gonna do quite a bit darker. And then we'll see if I'm happy or if it needs to be a little bit darker on the first one. Let's take a peek. Oh, see, I think number 1 needs to be a little bit darker. So let's go back, add number 1, because that's a little bit boring. Okay, so this is the fun thing, is if you're not happy with it, just go back. Ooh, yeah, see how much richer now that looks? Ooh, much better. Yeah, so you can just go back and forth until you're really happy. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so let me put Strawberry Slush aside, and I'm going to pull out Garden Green, and then we'll add the leaves. Okay, so number 4, you know, again, you don't really need the notches because it's so easy to see how to line these things up. Okay, just be a little bit patient, that's all. It just takes a little bit of patience to get them lined up. All right, so then we're gonna take our green, and I'm gonna go fairly lightly on this because this green, this is Garden Green, and it is, it gives you a lot of color. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's nice. All right, let's take number 5. And now we're gonna apply a little bit more pressure so that we get a nice contrast. So are you noticing, oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna get some tape for this. I know I say I think I don't need the tape, but then every time I say that, it moves. Some people are so good about doing this without any tape, but I feel more comfortable with a little bit of tape. Okay, so now I'm gonna be pretty generous with my pressure. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, nice, very, very nice. Okay, so now we will go cut this out. And we'll be ready to put it on the card. All right, so again, these dies are so easy to line up and they fit so nicely. You know, they've changed the dies and they've made them, oh, I think a couple years back, they changed them so that they fit so, so nicely. All right, here we go. We'll give it a cut. So my electric machine just takes its time. We cannot hurry it up. All right, so we don't need this anymore. And we're gonna put this away before we have an accident. Okay, so let's just press this through. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this away. It's always a good idea, right? Just put it away. So that it doesn't get lost. Boom, fits in there perfectly. There we go. Okay, now I have taken the liberty of cutting 2 more out because I always like mine to be a little, it doesn't have to be, trust me, it does not have to be heavier, and that would be very pretty. That's actually very pretty, but I've already cut 2 more out, so I'm going to put 2 more underneath just to make it a little bit thicker. If you want to, you certainly do not have to. And on this one, I think I actually might even be happy with just the one. But I usually like for my main characters to be a little more substantial. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now let's add this to the card. So pretty. See, I wanted it up a little bit higher because I didn't want it rocking quite so much. So I'm trying to still see the scent with the love and have this flower. There we go. Okay, then, I don't know if you've gotten these or not. These are Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And that's what I'm going to put in the center of these flowers. I'm gonna use a big one for the big flower. And I'm going to use a medium one or a smaller one for the smaller flower. And, oops, I almost forgot to put Inca Stella. I would have done this if I'd remembered before, but it doesn't matter. Inca Stella goes on before or after, but it does really make the card so pretty. Is that coming out? I think so. Oops, hey, what happened to my... Oh my gosh, okay, here's my little gem. Well, okay, fine. Okay, so here we go. Here's the front of our card, Sent with Love. Okay, so now what I did is I just thought I need to add something as filler to the center. So I simply cut out these 2 sets of leaves, and these are also from Thankful Gardens. So we're just gonna, how did I do that? That was really pretty. So kind of go up this way a little bit. And then over this way. Yes. Yep, that's pretty. Okay, just something interesting. And then when we open it up, we're going to go with, you make a difference. And I want to do it in Strawberry Slush, but I'm telling you, I'm not happy with the fact that the Strawberry Slush probably needs 2 stampings. I'll try to huff it really well. See if that helps you make a difference. Press it nice and firmly. Okay, that's okay. And then I'm going to get my green ink, and there is a little stamp, again in Thankful Gardens, that are just 3 little leaves, and I'm going to stamp that here and here. Okay, and I think we're done. Okay, so now, wouldn't this be a nice surprise? Okay, so I don't know how that got off. Do you guys have one of these, the mono erasers? I just got them online. They were a couple dollars each. Got a little bit of ink above the S. It must have been on my block. So I'm just going to erase it. These are worth their weight in gold. I have saved more cards that just got a tiny smudge of something on them, and it just comes right off with the mono eraser. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I like that Strawberry Slush, but I like the purple too. Whew, all right, really, really pretty. So Garden Green and Strawberry Slush, I love them. Okay, now let's keep going. So I wanted to try the Nested Essential dies, and truthfully, there's nothing we have that fits in here other than my So Sincere set. Even though it is retired, I'm still using it. And this DSP is also from Lovely Garden. And Tinsel Gems 4-pack. They're retired, but you guys don't get rid of your adhesive, of your embellishments, do you? Okay, so hope your day's a happy one. Happy birthday. Those are both from So Sincere. And then you get a surprise in the center with this gorgeous flower inside, because the front is so busy and beautiful. And then I added a little dragonfly there too. You really don't need a big splash on the front, but it's fun to have a splash on the center. However, look at the difference, you guys. This is another one that look at the difference in the Strawberry Slush. Now this one looks very pale and not that interesting to me once I've done the Strawberry Slush. So I may switch that one out to Strawberry Slush. Okay, so that was the Nested Essential Dies. Okay, now we're going to use the Textured Notes dies. And this is from Mixed Florals. This is Mixed Florals DSP. This is You Are Remarkable, which I just love that. And then the flowers are Mixed Florals. I added some clouds. And then when you open it again, I don't know who I'm sending this to. Friends are Flowers in the Garden of Life. So I'm not going to commit myself. It's probably going to be a birthday card or a very special thank you, because I don't go to this much trouble for just, a thank you, unless it's very, very special. So this is from Mixed Florals, and the little ladybug, of course, is also from Mixed Florals. But isn't this fun to have 2 times to open up? And then I put some little birds there. I'm not sure you can see them. But when these papers are so busy like this, a whole lot doesn't show up on it. So I just love doing this. Woohoo! It's just so fun opening this card. And then I will add a greeting. But that's going to be a nice surprise when somebody opens that. Okay, so there's this one. And now this one I want to show you. Unfortunately, I don't have this greeting anymore. I looked and looked. I thought, why would I ever have given this away? These are the daisy punches that we used to have. And I have no idea what this is from. This is all retired. When I count my blessings, same idea, I count you twice. Isn't that amazing? Why would I ever have given those greetings away? Because I love them. Okay, so now I'm going to show you 2 cards that are just like they're partial cards. This is going to be for my grandson's 16th birthday, which is coming up in a month. And he loves basketball. In fact, I used this same paper. I bought a big piece from Michael's, and I have enough for about probably 25 cards, but I can't use it after this year. Okay, so then I'm going to open up. And then I cut out with my stylish shapes, I cut out basketballs to add to that. This, of course, is retired. Here's something really we're celebrating today. You, happy birthday. And then on the back, I cut something else out just to make it interesting through and through. I think he's going to love that. Okay, then, are you ready for this? I got invited to a 20th birthday party next month. And so we're supposed to dress like the 20s, and I thought, fine. So what I did is I went online to eBay, and I ordered some stamps that, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see her earrings? They're rhinestones. They really show up in person. So it's the same idea of cutting this first, and this black and white paper, I've had it for years. I never throw away my black and white papers because I love them so much. These are the perennial postage dies. And I lifted this up. I put about 3 more layers under that because I wanted it up off the card a little bit. And so then 50, for some reason I can never get this straight, so it's mounted on there crooked. There's something really worth celebrating today. You, happy birthday. And then I put another one of the ladies there. And then on the envelope, I got 4 in the set. So 1, 2, 3. I got to use 3 of them. Isn't that fun? So, okay. So, let's see. Can you see them all? I think pretty much you can see them all if you want to take a picture of them at one time. So you get the idea. You can either open it twice, or you can fix it so that you just open it once. But having a window there is just a nice little surprise. So if you've enjoyed this video and would like to subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. If you do not have a demonstrator, please let me know, and I would be happy to send you a catalog. And then if you liked the video, I would appreciate if you liked it too. So thank you again, and if you want to reach out to me, it's Sandy Stamper at earthlink.net with no A in the Stamper. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll look forward to seeing you the next time.